Hi and great day everyone. Welcome to Valenzuela Live and to another episode of Learning Media Information Literacy. First, let me remind you to have your learning module on hand. Get your notebook and pen to take down notes. Always observe rules of netiquette while learning. And for your active participation, use the comment section. May I request everyone to type in your names and school in the comment section as your attendance for this session. Okay, are you ready? Alright, if you are ready, click the heart button. Enjoy learning, so let's begin. Our today's topic is about legal issues in using media and information. And we will talk about the intellectual property, fair use, and Creative Commons. Our objective is based on the most essential learning competency, which is to cite practical situation when to apply knowledge in intellectual property, copyright, and fair use guidelines. At the end of this session, you will be able to identify the different types of intellectual property right, evaluate scenarios if it's fair use or copyright, recognize the use of Creative Commons and fair use. But before we proceed, let us have a quick review of what you have learned from the previous lesson about media and information languages. Let's do this. The activity for today is You Complete Me. Here, you are going to fill up the missing letters to complete and give the word or words based on the given clue. You will be given 5 seconds for each item to write your answer in the comment section. Let's begin. Number 1. What does this symbol signify when you are working with your documents on the computer? Okay, 5 seconds to answer. Time's up. If your answer is the word save, then you are correct. Nice, you got it right. Next, number 2. These are ways in which equipment is used to tell the story. It includes sound, camera angles, types of shots and lightings, as well as the camera techniques, framing, depth of field, exposure, and juxtaposition. Comment your answer in 5 seconds. Time's up. Okay, the answer is technical code. Very good. Next, number 3. What kind of signages are shown below? Comment your answer in 5 seconds. Time's up. The answer? Correct. These are safety warnings. Great job. You are all amazing that you have recalled your previous lesson media languages, which are codes, convention formats, symbols, and narrative structures that indicate the meaning of media messages to the audience. Now, let us proceed to our lesson proper. As a student, you ought to know and learn how to utilize appropriately the information from any sources, since within the future, you might experience more serious issues or legal issues in utilizing media and information. When we talk about legal, it pertains to the law that we must be aware of, such as the copyright issue. To check your knowledge about the copyright protection, let's start with another activity. Let's do this. Here are the directions. You will be given images of sample works that covered by copyright protection. Identify each item by choosing the answer from the given options. You will be given 5 seconds to write your answer in the comment section. Write only the letter of your answer. Let's start with this image. The image shows letter A, architectural works. Letter B, choreographics work. Letter C, picture, graphics, and sculptural works. Type the letter of your answer in the comment section. Time's up. The answer is letter A, architectural works. Very good. Number 2, This image shows letter A, dramatic works, B, literary works, letter C, graphic works. Comment your answer in 5 seconds. Time's up. The answer is letter C, graphics work. Nice, great answer. Number 3. This image shows letter A, dramatic works, letter B, literary works, letter C, motion picture and audiovisual works. Okay, time's up. The answer is literary works. This picture shows Shakespeare, who was the famous writer of the tragedy of Romeo and Juliet. For those who got it right, awesome! You are catching on! Next, number 4. This image shows letter A, choreographic works, letter B, artistic works, letter C, sound recording or musical works. Time's up! And the answer is letter C, sound recording or musical works. Excellent, learners! You got it right! And this last image for this activity shows letter A, architectural works, letter B, brand name, letter C, dramatic works. And the answer is letter B, brand name. Good job, learners! You all did well. These given example images and some other media and information we read from the books, articles posted online or heard from radio, podcast or broadcasted on television are related to the legal issues in the media and information. They are subject to intellectual property. In this lesson, we will identify the different types of intellectual property and how can we protect ourselves from the copyright infringement. First, let us define what is intellectual property. Intellectual property refers to creation of the mind, a result of someone's creativity, works, or inventions. The Republic Act of 8290, or known as the Intellectual Property Code of the Philippines, is an act prescribing the Intellectual Property Code and establishing the Intellectual Property Office, providing for its power and functions and for other purposes. There are different types of intellectual property: the copyright, trademarks, applying the patent, industrial design rights, and geographical indications or the geographical origin rights. This intellectual property is protected by the law. Through this, people will earn recognition or financial benefits from what they invented and created. By striking the right balance between the interests of innovators and the wider public interest, the intellectual property system aims to foster an environment in which creativity and innovation can flourish. Some examples of intellectual property are literary works, inventions and discoveries, artistic work, logo and symbol, dramatic works, songs and music, performance and choreography, and motion pictures. Let us identify one by one the different types of intellectual property. First, the copyright. This is used to describe the rights granted to the author or to the creator of a work. What can be protected using the copyright? Here are some examples. Visual work such as paintings, posters, and advertisement. Another is sound recording and musical compositions. In writings, it can be in lectures, books, articles, and musical compositions. Another is audiovisual work such as TV shows, movies, and online videos. Also, dramatic works which include play and musical. And another one is the creation of computer software, mobile applications, and video games. Violating of the copyright will lead to copyright infringement. Copyright infringement is the illegal use of someone else's copyrighted work. Let's go now to applying patent. A patent is an exclusive right granted for an invention. It provides the patent owner with the right to decide how or whenever the invention can be used by others. Patents cover things like inventions, new process, new machines, and new ways of manufacturing. The third type of intellectual property is the trademark. A trademark is a sign capable of distinguishing the goods or services of one enterprise from those of other enterprises. Using a trademark covers a unique branding and identifiers like business names, logos, slogans, mascots, and more. The next one is the industrial design right. Industrial design rights protect the aesthetic design of an object. It includes the creation of a product with particular ornamentations, shapes, colors, or patterns which are intended to improve its overall usability, functionality, or visual appeal. Some examples are design and features of a mobile phones, rubber shoes, signature bags, backlinks, and many more. An industrial design should be registered to be protected under the industrial design law. In certain nations, industrial design is protected under the patent regulation or design patents. Let's move on to the last type of intellectual property, which is the geographical indication or the geographical origins. Signs are used for goods that have a specific geographical origin and possess qualities, characteristics that are essentially attributable to the place of origin. For example, pili nuts from Bicol, dried mango from Cebu, and strawberry jam from Baguio. These rules ensure customers and all producers in the given geographical area have collective rights over the product and identifies a product as originating in each place. Any violation of intellectual property law is called infringement, and it is punishable by the law. Related to this concern is the act of plagiarism. Plagiarism is a practice of taking someone else's work or ideas and passing them off as one's own. Another one is the piracy. It refers to the unauthorized use, copying, reproduction, or distribution of the product that have intellectual property rights protection. It may include stealing, transmitting, selling, and copying without the consent approval of the owner. How can you protect and avoid yourself violating intellectual property and avoiding plagiarism or infringement? What do you think? You may type in your opinion on the comment section. As a student complying to your activities, assignments, projects, or research, you gather information in which nowadays you do accomplish your task by browsing the net and searching a certain topic. To protect oneself from violation, the use of copyright works, fair use, and Creative Commons were introduced. This too tackles possibilities of using copyrighted works in accordance with the law. Fair use refers to the use of the portion of the copyrighted materials. May be used without permission of the copyright owner, provided the use is fair and reasonable and only for certain purposes. These include commentary, criticism, reporting, research, and teaching. Let us cite a sample scenario of fair use. Quoting a few lines from a song in a music review. Another, summarizing and quoting from a medical article on COVID-19 in a news report. Copying a few paragraphs from a news article for use by teacher or student in a lesson. Or a journalist would be permitted to quote a political speech text without the consent of the politicians. How about Creative Commons? Creative Commons is a non-profit organization that enables the sharing and use of creativity and knowledge through free legal tools. It does not replace copyright. Instead, it works alongside copyright. Creative Commons licenses allow you to easily change your copyright terms from the default of all rights reserved to some rights reserved. The application of the Creative Commons license to a piece of intellectual property tells content consumers that they may use, share, and sometimes modify your content for free. Creative Commons licenses are frequently applied to photographs and artwork, videos, music and audio files, presentation, coursework, ebooks, blog posts, and wiki pages. How to filter your online search of images and use Creative Commons. In using Microsoft Edge browser, example, you are going to search an image related to intellectual property. Type in the word intellectual property in the search bar. Then click the Tools menu button. Then More Tools button will appear. Click the Usage Rights button. Then select from the drop-down menu the Creative Commons license. Now, you may start searching the image you want to use in your document or presentation. In using Google Chrome browser, again, type in the word intellectual property in the search bar. Then click the Filter menu button. Then more tool buttons will appear. Click the Licenses button. Here, you may select different types of licenses. Then select the Creative Commons license. Now, you may start searching the image you want to use in your document or presentation. Okay, so let us review what we have learned today. We define and give the different types of intellectual property right, which includes copyright, patent, trademark, industrial design, and geographical origin. We recognize also the use of Creative Commons and fair use. Intellectual property law secures a content creator's interest in their ideas by granting and enforcing legal rights to create and control physical manifestations of those ideas. The goal of Creative Commons is to increase openly licensed creativity in the commons, wherein the content of work will be available for legal use. Through these Creative Commons licenses, people around the world share their photos, artworks, writings, blogs, music, and other creative content for public use. While under fair use, we may take a limited use of original author's work without asking permission, using of copyrighted materials for purpose such as comments, criticism, research, news reporting, and for teaching. Time to check what we have learned today. Choose the letter of the correct answer from the given choices. Type your answer in the comment section. Okay, ready? Number 1. This is an exclusive right granted for an invention and provides the owner with the right to decide how or whether the invention can be used by others. A. Copyright. B. Geographical indications. C. Industrial design. D. Patent. Timer starts now. Time's up. And the answer is letter B. Patent. Okay, very good. You got it right. Number 2. It refers to the use of the portion of copyrighted materials. May be used without permission of the copyright owner, provided it will be used reasonable only for certain purposes, which include commentary, criticism, or in teaching. Letter A. Patent. Letter B. Trademark. Letter C. Fair use. Letter D. Creative Commons. Timer starts now. Time's up. For those who answered letter C, fair use, you are correct. Good job. Number 3. It is a practice of taking someone else's work or ideas and passing them off as one's own. Letter A. Fair use. Letter B. Piracy. Letter C. Plagiarism. Letter D. Copyright infringement. Timer starts now. Time's up. The answer is letter C. Plagiarism. Excellent. For number 4 to 5, we have true or false. Question number 4. If your friend took a picture of you, he would own the copyright to the image that he took. If he or someone else uploaded a video, image, or recording of you without your permission, and you feel it violates your privacy or safety, you may wish to file a privacy complaint. True or false? Timer starts now. Okay, time's up. The answer is true. Awesome. Question number 5. Under fair use, you may take a limited use of original author's work without asking permission, using of copyrighted materials for purpose such as comments, criticism, research, news reporting, and for teaching. Your 5 seconds starts now. What is your answer? If your answer is true, absolutely right. How many correct answers did you get? Great job, my dear learners! You learned a lot from today. Give yourself a pat on your back. For your assignment, answer the assessment on your module. Given there some illustrated scenarios for copyright and fair use. Evaluate the fair use and explain your answer. You may use separate sheet of paper if necessary. That is all for today. I hope you learned from today's learning engagement. Time flies really fast. This has been Ma'am G, and see you again for another episode of Valenzuela Live. Stay home, stay safe, and keep on learning.